Hello class, I am Vicki Wenzel. I am going to be your instructor for Pharmacology 1 this year, and I am here to go over your syllabus with you. So this is our syllabus. We're going to run through this stuff really kind of, I don't know how quick it will be. It'll probably take about an hour, maybe less. But this way we won't have to do it in class that first day because we're only going to get 50 minutes a week in class. So what I want you to do is, if you haven't printed your syllabus yet, or you haven't even looked at it, please pull it up on your computer while we go through this. Print it, bring a paper or bring pencil with you so you can take notes. Keep any questions you have till Tuesday. I'll have a little bit of time in there. Tuesday the 9th, we start class at 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock sharp, and we'll go from there. So let's get started. This is Nursing 2100, Pharmacology 1. My name is Vicki Wenzel. I'm just going to read through this syllabus, so let me know. Well, you can't let me know. Just kind of write questions off to the side if you have them. My office number, 402-465-2548. I am here on campus Monday through Friday, and I will be here every day of the week, except on Tuesdays when I'll be teaching you Pharm from 9 to 9:50, and then on Thursdays I'll be in the lab with you all. So other than that, you should be able to catch me in the office. If you can't catch me in the office, or if it's office hours, my cell phone is the next number, 402-310-4673. You may call, you may text, and email. I would really like you to do the email first if you can. I keep track of my email. I look at it a couple times a day, and over the weekends I look at it, so please use the email first, office phone second, or office phone first if it's during the week, and then email. Use my cell phone last. vwenzel@nebraskawesleyan.edu is my email address, so you can email me anytime. Our location for class will be in Olin, room 1112. The day and time we just talked about. Theories will be on Tuesday from 9 to 9:50. The lab will be in the mornings, or Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon, depending on which you signed up. I have an extra bunch of you, I think, in the mornings on Thursday. So if anybody in the mornings would like to switch to the afternoon, that would be so helpful for everybody. We would have a little bit more one-to-one instructor time if we could kind of even the classes out just a little bit. There was supposed to be a cap put on each class, and the cap got left off. So if anybody could help me with that, I would really appreciate it. You get 1 theory credit hour for this, which is 15 contact hours, and 1 lab credit hour, which is 45 contact hours. So altogether, you'll have 75 contact hours when you get done with Pharm. Prerequisites for this course are admission to the BSN program or permission of the program director. Course description: evidence-based pharmacotherapeutic aspects of nursing care are introduced. Emphasis is on principles of safe administration of medication and common uses for major drug classifications. The relationship among technology, economic, and regulatory forces, as well as collaboration with the healthcare team, are discussed. Ethical and cultural considerations are explored across the lifespan. Your program learning objectives, outcomes, I'm going to let you look at them. Okay, they're kind of the same as they are for your other classes, so go ahead and look through those. Your course objectives: we're going to accurately calculate and convert medication dosages for a variety of medications and delivery devices across the lifespan. We are going to integrate biological and chemical knowledge related to I think I'm going to put these glasses on. I should get better light in here maybe. Integrate biological and chemical knowledge related to the use of pharmacotherapeutics for treatment of human illnesses and prevention of illness. Recognize situations that require interprofessional team interventions to assure quality and safe patient care. Understand healthcare policy and health insurance policy are related to approval, reporting, and withdrawal of pharmacotherapeutic agents from the United States market or insurance coverage for patients. Utilize best practices related to the administration of pharmacological agents, and that includes the 6 rights, and we'll talk about those Tuesday in class. Demonstrate professional values related to the administration of medications within the scope of multicultural changing society. Use appropriate technology to assess and manage information related to pharmacological agents. This next little table down here is the course objectives again, and tied to your program outcomes, which are on the first page here that we looked at. Okay, how we do assessment of how you're learning is we'll do quizzes, exams, skills lab, competencies, those kind of things, and we'll do that for everything. Okay, so you can skip that whole table if you want. Your required reading material or your required material for this class, first of all, is this book. This is your APA 6th edition for APA. And I know that you all know that I really look at APA, so please be cognizant and use this book. The other one you're going to do is this Potter and Perry Fundamental, which I think you've got, because I think you had to have it for fundamentals. We will be using like all of the, if I can find any right off the top of my head, but all of the skills in here are in the yellow pages. They look kind of like this. Okay, so all of the skills in here we will be doing in Pharm. So you will need this book and you'll need to bring it with you. Not probably to class, but to lab. Okay. And then this is our book for class, Focus on Nursing Pharmacology. It is the 7th edition by Karch. So in your syllabus or in the calendar, you'll see Karch chapter 26. That's this book. If you're doing the fundamental book, it'll probably say Potter and Perry chapter 41 or whatever chapter. So you need these 3 books, okay? You also need to have Nursing Central web-based learning applications, and you also need to have Reference Point software. And there's a website for purchasing it, and it's on page 4 in your syllabus. So please, please, please get your Reference Point. That will help you with APA, okay? Nebraska Wesleyan's commitment to students with disabilities. Nebraska Wesleyan University seeks to maintain a supportive academic environment for students with disabilities. To ensure their equal access to all educational programs, activities, and services, federal law requires that students with disabilities notify the university, provide documentation, and request reasonable accommodations. If you need accommodations in this course, please notify Professor Sandy McBride, the Coordinator of Services of Students for Disabilities. And her office is in Old Main 126. There's a phone number here, and there's also an email address. If you have an accommodation and you've talked to Sandy McBride, I have to have an email from her, or a letter or something that I get that tells me you have an accommodation, and then we can work with that. But I can't do anything without that letter. So if you have an accommodation, please see Sandy, and then make sure I get a letter for you, and then we'll go from there. Title IX information. As an instructor, one of my responsibilities to help create a safe learning environment on our campus. I also have a reporting responsibility under the Title IX Educational Act of 1972, which prohibits violence, harassment, and discrimination based on sex and gender. It is my goal that you feel able to share information related to your life experience in classroom discussions, in your written work, and in your one-on-one meeting. I will seek to keep information you share private to the greatest extent possible. However, for the sake of the NWU students' safety and welfare, I am required to share information regarding sexual misconduct or information about a crime that may have occurred on NWU's campus with the Title IX coordinator or deputy Title IX coordinator. Confidential assistance is also available for students. If you or someone you know has been harassed, assaulted, or discriminated against because of sex or gender, the following resources are available. And there's a number in here for Lincoln, okay? There's a number for on-campus and off-campus, so please use that if you can. If you have to. I hope you don't have to, but if you do, and please know you can come to me and talk to me too if there's an issue, okay? Statement of academic integrity. Academic integrity is one of the basic principles of a university community. Nebraska Wesleyan University encourages and expects the highest standards of academic honesty from all students. Okay, as a nursing student, I expect even more integrity from all of you. I do not want any problems with cheating or anything like that, okay? The Student Code of Conduct states that cheating, plagiarism, or any other form of academic dishonesty are subject to disciplinary action. Refer to the Student Code of Conduct for additional information. Because of this, and because of something that happened last semester, you will have to take notes on paper and pencil, or paper and pen, however you want to do it. You will not take notes on your computer. There will be a few times I will have a PowerPoint for you to watch, like in the lab or whatever we'll go over. You must print that PowerPoint off and bring it if you want to keep notes on it. You will not be able to use your computer in lab or in the theory class unless I tell you to pull them out. So please bring your computers, bring your phones, bring your calculators. You're going to need all of that stuff, but only when I tell you you need it, okay? Student assignments. Students are required to submit an electronic copy of written assignments. Electronic copies of presentations may be requested by your faculty member. Electronic versions of paper and presentations will be stored for 3 years and then destroyed. Students' work may be reviewed by nursing program accreditation visitors. Okay, and that's just like when our accrediting body comes in to look at us, sometimes they want to look at students' papers, they want to look at syllabuses, they want to look at tests, all of that stuff. So that's all that's saying there. Electronic portfolio submission. Every nursing student at Nebraska Wesleyan is required to prepare and maintain an online professional portfolio. The portfolio represents key nursing experiences and achievements during the course of study leading to the BSN degree. The portfolio documents academic, professional, and service accomplishments and may include major course papers, projects, case studies, presentations, applied research, posters, practicum experience, and other samples of work completed. The portfolio is intended to be a useful career tool as well as a means for nursing faculty to assess educational outcomes. Building a portfolio is a process that allows one to collect, select, reflect, build on, and showcase work. Students should start their portfolios when they enter their program. However, students can add documentation at any time. Select courses will require that an assignment be submitted to the Digication e-portfolio. These assignments will be indicated by an asterisk. Students should submit the original ungraded version of the assignment to their portfolio. Okay. Electronic communication. Students are expected to have access to one computer and check their Nebraska Wesleyan University email on a regular basis. The university cannot incorporate personal at-home email accounts into its system. When group emails are sent advising students of changes in their course plans, the emails are sent only to Nebraska Wesleyan University email accounts. Students are accountable for reading these emails. Please remember that your Nebraska Wesleyan email is easily accessible from a home computer through the NWU pages. When I send an email, and if I send it out to you, I do expect that you will get back to me if I have a question in there or if I have a concern, that you will get back to me within 24 to 48 hours. That is the same expectation I have of myself. If you send me an email, I try to answer it the day I get it. Sometimes it takes me till the next day, depending on what time it comes through. So I really think it's very respectful to answer emails as soon as possible. So I would expect you, if I send you an email with a question or a concern, that you answer back to me within 24 to 48 hours. Now, if it's over a weekend, like if I send it out Friday night, you can have till Monday to get back to me, just as I would do the same for you guys, okay? Students who do not own a home computer can access computers at Nebraska Wesleyan. Assignments made using Blackboard can be completed in a computer at Nebraska Wesleyan. Please contact a staff member if you have questions about this. Wesleyan has computers all over the place, so please don't tell me that your computer broke, your computer wasn't working, any of that stuff. If you live on campus, there are computers all over the place. If you don't live on campus and your computer at home breaks, then you need to come to campus to complete your work on time. Having a broken computer will not count towards being on time or being off time or whatever. So please know that there are plenty of computers here to use. Students will be required to access Blackboard. Announcements, general information, course documents, assignments will be posted there, and students are responsible for this information. On Blackboard, in your Pharmacology, I have divided up the weeks into content, weekly content. On every week, there will be, usually, not always, but almost every week, there will be some content on Blackboard that you need to access and to read, to look at, to study. There are a bunch of weeks that I have a ticket to class. Those are on Blackboard. You'll have to have those tickets to class done before you come to class. I will be looking at them. Okay. If you don't have the tickets to class done when you get to class, you will be excused to go finish them. I don't care where you go, library, desk, whatever, but not in the classroom. They need to be finished when you get to class in the morning before 9 o'clock. And then you can come back to class once it's finished, if you get it finished in that time. So it'll either be a late start for you, you'll get counted as late, or you'll be counted as missing the whole class if you don't get it done on time. So please get your tickets to class done ahead of time on the weeks that I have them. Okay. Recording in the classroom. Students may not video or audio record class sessions without the instructor's knowledge and permission. I will not give you permission to record any of the class time. So please do not bring recorders to class. You will not be able to record the class. If I permit recordings, which I won't, are to be used only for individual student educational review of the class session. It may not be reproduced, posted, sold, or distributed to others. Okay? Electronic devices should not be utilized, and that's the same thing. You will not be able to use computers in the classroom unless I tell you you can. So please bring paper and pencil with you. You will not be able to use cell phones. As a matter of fact, they will be turned off and put in your coat pocket, in your purse, in your bag, wherever. I don't want them on the desk during class time unless I tell you to pull them out. Okay? So make sure you got some paper and pencil to write with. I need just a little drink here. Okay. Online library database to find articles. Wesleyan has invested in a variety of online databases with full text options to assist students in their ability to find up-to-date publications. Please be aware that there are databases that need to be checked before you can request an interlibrary loan. I don't think you're going to have any interlibrary loans for this class. So, but if you do, you have to check our regular databases first before we do it. Okay, and all you have to do is go to the Cochran Woods Library page on our website. Theory attendance requirements. There are points awarded for participation and attendance in this course. The student is expected to be punctual and attend classes. Please be on time. Okay, if you're late, it disrupts the whole class. I start at 9 o'clock. Please do not walk in after that. Please come early. A percentage of the student's grade is based on class participation. If you come late, you will lose some points, and we're going to talk about that when we get to the SAS rubric, okay? Repeated tardiness and absenteeism will be reflected in the course grade. If students do not attend, are late in arrival, or leave early, they will lose the opportunity to earn these points. There are no excused absences for any reason whatsoever. Attendance and participation are considered key elements of student success in the nursing program. Missing even one day in an 8, and this should say a 16-week session is equivalent to missing 2 days. Well, no, it shouldn't say that. It should say missing even one day in an 8-week session is equivalent to missing 2 days in a full semester course. So, what I want you to know is that if you're going to be late, or if you are going to miss a class, please text me or call me so I know where you are. I worry a little bit about you when you don't show up. If you get up in the morning and it's 8:30 and you're rushing to class and you get out and your car's got a flat tire, please call me or text me so I know you are going to be late, so I don't have to worry that you were, in an accident or whatever. So just let me know when you're going to be late or if you're going to miss class. Attendance in nursing courses is mandatory. Tardiness and class absences will decrease your overall course grade and are considered unprofessional behavior. Okay? You would never go to work and not call somebody if you weren't coming to work that day, or if you were going to be late. You would always call work and let them know. That's very professional. Okay? Written assignments. All written assignments are to be typed, double-spaced, and proofread prior to admission. Please proofread anything you submit. There's a lot of issues. I've seen a lot of things with students that do like they get their twos wrong, the TO, the TOO, and the TWO, or the there, THEIR, and THERE. Please, please, please read your submissions before you submit them, okay? And there will be rubrics for anything that you have to write. Okay, written assignments must follow APA guidelines. No paper copies will be accepted. Late work. Assignments turned in after the due date will receive a deduction of 5% per day, and I will not take them after 1 week. So if you're late with a paper and it's now been 8 days, I will not accept the paper, okay? I'm just going to write a little note here, or not only paper, but homework, whatever. Okay. Okay, the next page, if you look at page 7, this is your SAS rubric. This is what I was talking about, okay? You will fill this out at the end of our course. I think it's due May 2nd or something like that, but that's a long ways away, so don't worry too much about it. But if you go to the second page of this, page 8, you'll look under professional behavior. And I do keep track when you come in late, when you leave early, or if you're not there. And if you look at the very fourth column, I guess, fifth column, student was late or left early 3 times or absent from 1 class, you get a 0 for that. So on this SAS rubric, it's only worth 18 points, but this one you would get 0 for if you're absent from even one class. So it's something you want to think about, okay? Okay. So read the SAS rubric over before you get to class on Tuesday. That way, if you have questions, you can ask, and then you can know what's expected of you. Okay. The next page 9 is your course assessment. So this is our grading scale for the nursing program. It's a little tiny bit different than the whole Wesleyan program because we're graduating nurses and we want you to know what you're doing. So please look this over. You have to have a final course grade of C to get through the program. So if you get a 72%, you're going to flunk this class. That's a C minus, and you'll have to take it again. So you have to get at least a C, which is 73 to 76%. Okay. Exams. During administration of exam, and all of our exams will be in the library, all personal belongings must be placed against the wall in the classroom. No hats or caps may be worn during the exam. Faculty will not answer questions during the exam regarding exam content. No cell phone calculators will be allowed during the exam. If we're going to have, so you're not going to have your cell phones, you're not going to have your computers, you're not going to have your bags. You can have a piece of paper and a pencil there. No hats, no coats, no nothing. Everything has to go to the front or the side of the room away from where you're sitting at. And I will remind you of that when we get to the class time or the exam time. Exam policy, pre-licensure BSN students are required to achieve an exam average of 73%. If the average is not achieved, the pre-licensure BSN student will automatically fail the course, and there will be no rounding of exam average is allowed. So that means that when you take all of your exams, they have to average out to at least 73%. If you have a 72.7, I cannot round that. That's the policy that we don't do any rounding. You will flunk the course. So please, please, please study for your exams, okay? Makeup test. Exams or quiz procedures. If a student takes a test outside of the scheduled time, this will be considered a makeup test. The test must be made up within 1 week of the original scheduled time. And you can actually, if you know you're going to miss a class because of whatever, you'll still be counted absent. But if you know it's a test date, you can take that test ahead of time if you want, just to get it out of the road. Or you have a week afterwards too, a week before, a week after the exam time. Okay? Let's see. Okay, so, and failure to do so within taking that test within the scheduled time, within the scheduled 1 week, will result in a 0 for that test. A student may miss one test without a penalty as long as the test is made up. If the student misses more than one test, the test may be made up, but the maximum score allowed will be 80%. Any further makeup tests are a maximum of 50%. Okay? Student assessment and grades will be based upon the following learning activities. So your skills lab competencies are 20% of your grade. Your farm math quiz, which I think you take it in week 2, will be 5% of your grade. Your quizzes, you have one quiz, that's 5% of your grade. You have 3 exams, and that'll be 50% of your grade. Your Kaplan assignment will be 10% of your grade, and your SAS rubric will be 10% of your grade. Okay? Okay, so I know you all took a Kaplan exam last year, and then last semester for me, and you also took one in fundamentals. There will not be a Kaplan exam for this class, but what there will be is a Kaplan assignment. So it'll be a focused exam of 25 questions that are to be completed throughout the course. Students must score at least 90% on the focused exam. During the course, students will complete 2 focused exams and turn in a copy of the completed exam to course faculty. Refer to course calendar for due dates, and we'll talk about that when the course calendar comes out. Okay. Skills competencies. Students will be taught skills competencies by the instructor. Students will have ample time to practice competencies taught. Students will be required to test out of 6 skill competencies, and you will randomly be assigned one competency for number 3, 4, and 6. Okay, so the first one we're going to teach you is sub-Q insulin administration, oral medication administration, which will be done through simulation, IV fluid initiation, or piggyback setup. Both include IV pump setups. Okay, and that's one of the one you'll be randomly assigned to. Medication administration, number 2, intramuscular, subcutaneous, or enteral, and that is another one that you'll be randomly assigned to, but you're going to have to know all of them because you don't know which one you're going to get. Okay. Let's see, venipuncture and blood administration or central line dressing change, and that's the other one, number 6. Students will need to successfully pass 6 competencies to pass the course. Competencies are graded on a pass-fail basis, and the student must pass all components of each competency. Students may have 3 attempts of each competency. If the student does not pass their attempts at each of these competencies, the students will fail the course. Please refer to skills competency checkoff sheets in Blackboard. They are not there yet. I am hoping to get them up there soon, but they're not there quite yet. Okay, medication administration simulation. In this simulation, students will be evaluated on proper oral medication administration. Please refer to the oral medication skills checkoff sheet on Blackboard. Each student will administer select medications to a standardized patient. Students are required to explain the medication to the standardized patient. In addition to adhering to the skills checkoff sheet, students will need to explain to the standardized patient what the medications are for and the potential side effects. Students will also need to perform appropriate assessment of vital signs and be cognizant of lab values. Students will need to pass this competency to pass the course. So the medications you're going to give are Coumadin, Metoprolol, Lasix, aspirin, potassium. You're going to have to know what they're all for. And what this other one is saying, where it says you have to be cognizant of lab values, that means like something for potassium. Like you give potassium to people because their potassium is low. And a normal potassium is 3.5 to 5.5. So if you don't know that and the patient has a potassium of 5.4 and you want to give her a supplemental potassium, you could get in real trouble with the patient or she could get really sick. So that's why you're going to have to know lab values. Okay? So the next bunch of pages are kind of your little bit of your calendar. I am still working on your calendar that I will post on Blackboard when I get there. It's not done yet, but hopefully soon. So this goes through all the weeks what we'll be doing. The first column is like your week 1 and the date of lecture, the date of your lab. The second column is your theory. So this is what we're going to do in theory class, okay, on that 50 minutes that we have together. Course objectives, it's just telling you which course objectives this matches. And then the lab, that's what we're going to do in lab that week on that Thursday, like January 11th. So they'll each have one of these. And then course objectives again for this one. Okay? So you can look through all that. I just wanted to point out, looks like in week 2 you're going to have your farm math quiz. So that gives us a week to kind of get things going. Okay? And then you also will look at the end of, like on this week, if you look at week 3, if you look down under week 3, it says reading assignments, Karch chapter 38. That, of course, is Karch, this book. And this chapter 38 goes with week 3. It's under the week that you have to read. Okay? And then, looks like week 4, you have exam 1. Now, when you do exam 1 and exam 2, or when you're going to do your focused exams for Kaplan, these focused exams are due the day before you take your exam. So on this week 4, you will take exam 1 on January 30th. So your focus exam from Kaplan will be due to me by January 29th at 23:59. Okay? With the 90% average on it. And there's another one here. Let's see. I don't know where it is, but it's coming. And we can just keep skipping through. I'm on page 18 already. And let's see. It's quite a ways down here. That's good. That means less exams, right? Well, and I might have missed it already. Oh, no, there it is. So on week 13, you will have a focus exam due April 9th by 23:59, and you'll take exam 2 on April 10th. Okay? So that's that, and that's that. And just skip right on past all this calendar stuff. And now we're going to do lab requirements and assessments. So your lab focus. The lab focus for our labs are on Thursdays are safety, nursing procedures or processes, hierarchy of needs, communication, advancement of assessment skills, along with the advancement of understanding of pathophysiology of significant data. Lab methods of instruction, a variety of teaching strategies applicable to job experience, to the lab experience. Lecture, videos, reading, class activities, simulations, demonstrations, case studies, all that stuff we'll use in lab. Lab expectations. Students in the skills lab are expected to respect school property. Failure to do so will result in a failure of the course. Name badges are required for clinical and lab experiences. Students who arrive without their name badges will be sent home and receive an unsatisfactory on their clinical evaluation. Clinical and lab experiences will need to be made up. When you come to lab, you consider that clinical. So you come dressed in your scrubs, with your hair up, with your little post earrings. You cannot have dangly earrings in the lab. You are to dress like you would at a clinical, okay? So little post earrings, hair up, no nose rings, no lip rings, no any other rings. If you have tattoos, they're to be covered. Let's see, it says in here, students must show up on time. If the students are late, they will be sent home, and that's the same thing we do in clinical. If you show up late to clinical, you're sent home, and the day will be counted as an absence. Students in the lab will have to make up the experience. Special circumstances will be addressed on a case-by-case basis. Students will follow the nursing dress code for this experience, and I just talked about a couple of those things. Please refer to your student handbook. Non-compliance will result in dismissal from the lab. So if you come to lab all dressed, your hair's up, your scrubs are on, but you have a pair of dangly earrings, you're going home. You cannot wear dangly earrings, okay? So make sure you know what the dress code is before you come to lab. Refer to the handbook for dress, hair, uniform, and other regulations. Any violation may cause a student to be sent home and a clinical failure for the day. Students are expected to act in accordance with their ethical standards placed upon a nurse according to the American Nurse Standards. Failure to act with honesty and integrity towards a patient, other students, or faculty members may result in lab failure. The skills lab schedule will be posted outside of the lab and on Blackboard. Students may access the lab to practice outside of their scheduled lab days when there is no activity in the lab. Students need to sign up for extra time with their instructor. An instructor or a skills lab assistant must be present. Students are responsible for leaving the lab neat and clean. And that means when we get done with our lab experience, we will clean up the lab together. We'll put everything away, throw papers away, whatever we need to do. Okay? Makeup. Lab makeup time is provided for students who have unexpected and unavoidable situations arrive, and remember to call me or text that necessitate absence from clinical. More than 6 hours of absence will result in failure and or completion of the course. Valid extenuating circumstances will be evaluated by course faculty in determining course failure. Use of handheld devices. Students are encouraged to appropriately utilize online resources via computer or handheld device to enhance learning. Use of handheld devices in the clinical setting is regulated by clinical agencies. All students are fully responsible for following the regulations of the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. Students are prohibited from using cameras in the clinical setting. Inappropriate use of handheld devices or violation of HIPAA guidelines may result in disciplinary action. Refer to Student Handbook for Social Media Policy. Students are expected to implement the values of the Nebraska Wesleyan University. Any knowledge and unprofessional, unethical, or dishonest behavior will be fully investigated. What we have students do in clinical, and I will expect the same as lab, is to ask the professor if you may pull out your phone to use Nursing Central. That is the only time you should be able to use it unless I tell you that you can. Okay? Lab absence fees. After 2 absences in 1 academic year, the student will be charged $50 for each additional lab-related course experience that requires schedule adjustments. The student will still be required to make up the lab experience. A $100 fee will be charged to any student who is a no-show or does not call to report an absence for any lab experience, regardless of the number of absences incurred. Okay, I am still working on your Blackboard, but please know that Week 1 is already in Blackboard. There is a ticket to class for Week 1. It's a crossword puzzle that needs to be done when you come to class. Okay, if it's not, like I said earlier, you'll be excused so you can go finish it. If it takes you the whole hour, it'll be considered an absence in class. If you leave to go finish it and you come back halfway through the class, it'll just be considered a late, but please get it done before class. Let's see. Remember, no computers in class unless I tell you. Your cell phones need to be off and in a book bag or in a coat pocket or something. I won't have you using your cell phones. Well, I guess we won't get a break because we're only a 50-minute class. So I guess we won't worry about that. We're 50 minutes class Tuesday, January 9th. I will see you at 9 o'clock in the morning at Oland in 1112. And bring any questions to this syllabus that you have with you, and I'll answer questions. We've got a lot to do over the next 16 weeks, and I don't know about you, but I am so excited to start doing this stuff. Okay? Have a good rest of your break, and I will see you Tuesday.